Hello, everyone. My name is Dominique Gibson, and I am a self-published author of 4 books so far in the True Science SET series. Those books are An Orman's Revenge, An Orman's Fate, and An Orman's Allegiance. In addition to these 3 books, I am currently in the process of doing Courtney's Redemption, which is going to be to be a novella to the True Science SET series. And they're all available on Amazon and other online retailers nationwide. And I am also the author of the Gibson Newsletter, a year in review for both 2019 and 2020, which is available exclusively on Amazon. So I decided to actually redo an introduction video because the last video that I did, I was kind of a little lengthy, it was a little long, and I had a lot of oohs and ums and different things like that in there. So I kind of wanted to do this video over again. Yes, it's in the middle of the night. Yes, my hair is looking a little crazy. And yes, I'm sitting in my bedroom redoing this introduction video because my back is killing me, and I think it was time for me to just try to redo this video over again, just to see if I can improve the last video that I did, which was about a year ago on my YouTube channel. So the introduction video. So my writing journey started back in 2009. I had wrote a young adult novel called The Electric Eel Bandit. The reason why I was called The Electric Eel Bandit was because it was based on, the first novel that I did was based on a paranormal romance type book. And I had gotten that idea from the mix of the Twilight series and the Vampire Diaries series. So I had read the Twilight book series and watched the movies, and I only watched the TV series of the Vampire Diaries. But within this huge mix, I was able to create a story that was unlike any of these TV series / movies / books that I was reading. And I enjoyed writing these stories. These stories are basically about superhero hybrids, AKA half human, half orcas, or half human, half demons so far, that have these supernatural powers, and they fight criminals who are either within their same clan or they fight just regular criminals who wants to destroy people. So they do both. And they end up falling in love in the process with every book that comes out. So the first 3 books are based upon the Orman clan, which is superhero hybrids, humans, and orcas that come together and they end up falling in love and fighting these criminals in the midst of it. So the first 3 books is based on the Orman clan. The next 3 books is going to be based on the Femen clan. And it's just going to keep going from there when it comes to different hybrids. So you have the orcas, which is the first 3 books. You have the Femens, which is going to be the next 3 books. And then after that, you'll probably have another clan that's going to come into the fold. They are a bigger part of the True Science SET series. So they are superhero hybrids who are part of this team that goes and fights criminals and saves the world while falling in love in the process. So that's basically the True Science SET series in a nutshell. So I started my journey in 2009. I went the traditional publishing route. I submitted letters, literary agents, publishers. I was one of those writers who went through that horrible story of, yes, I submitted a lot of work to these literary agents and these publishers, but ended up getting rejected time and time again. So I ended up turning the young adult novel, The Electric Eel Bandit, into an adult novel because I could not see myself writing a entire young adult series based on that one particular novel. So I decided to expand further and write it as a adult paranormal romance. And I found it to be way better than I expected it to be when it came to writing it as an adult novel versus a young adult novel. So in the midst of it, I ended up having to redo the whole book all over again, which is fine. And in my journey, I went through the self-publishing route again, hoping that maybe this time I'll actually score the big acceptance letter and from the literary agent, from the publisher, and I'll be on my way to being a published author. Unfortunately, this did not happen. So what ended up happening was I kept writing the books. I kept writing the books, writing the Ormond's Revenge. I was already kind of finished with Ormond's Revenge. In the meantime, I was writing the Ormond's Fate. So long story short, I ended up actually hiring an editor at the time in order to do some editing on an Ormond's Revenge because I really wanted to enter into a contest at that point, and it was really imperative that I had to do it before the deadline. But I ended up missing the deadline, and I said, you know what, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna keep going. So I ended up hiring an editor. Her name was Judy Roth at the time. Now, her name is still Judy Roth. But I ended up hiring her to edit my books. And in the midst of that, she edited, she pointed out some things that I obviously wouldn't have noticed if I was doing this myself. And in 2019, I had officially published the first book in the Tucson SET series, which was this book right here, An Ormond's Revenge. In the midst of me publishing the first book in the Tucson SET series, I was in the process of writing the second draft to this book right here, An Ormond's Fate. So in the midst of it, after I was done editing An Ormond's Revenge, I went back to my editor and was like, well, since I'm in the second draft of An Ormond's Fate, after I self-edited a little bit more, I contacted her and said, hey, let's edit An Ormond's Fate. And that's exactly what she did. So in the midst of it, I had two books that actually came out in the same year. I think one came out in January and one came out in like October. Right. So then I had every intention of doing An Ormond's Allegiance, this book right here, within the next year. But unfortunately, COVID-19 hit and my job that I initially had was in jeopardy a little bit because I am an infant and toddler teacher at a daycare center at that time. And I still am, but I changed jobs throughout the years, but I'm still an infant and toddler teacher. That is my day job. That's what I do throughout the week. So I didn't really publish too much of anything at all, except for the Gibson newsletter, which was 2019 and 2020 because of lack of funds. So 2021 came back, rolled back around, things were picking up. I ended up finally publishing An Ormond's Allegiance, which was the third book in the Tucson SET series. And now I am currently in the process of writing a novella called Courtney's Redemption, which is a go-between between An Ormond's Revenge, which is the first book, and A Female's Betrayal, which is going to be the fourth book in the Tucson SET series that I'm currently working on now. I worked on the fourth book as a MFA thesis novel because I just completed my Master's of Fine Arts in Creative Writing from Southern New Hampshire University. Yay me, go me. And it was an incredible experience. I'll probably talk about that in another video. But I used the fourth book in the True Son SCT series as my thesis novel, and I currently in the second draft of that book. So that book will probably be out. My goal is for that to be out by the end of this year. So my publishing journey stemmed from 2009 when I originally wrote and tried to publish Electric Eel Benda as a YA novel, to 2019 where I ended up self-publishing in Orman's Revenge. So that was like a huge 10-year gap. And I decided to revise this video because I kind of wanted it to be a little bit shorter and a little bit more condensed. And I'm a little bit more confident now when it comes to cameras and stuff like that and things along that nature. So, and another reason why I decided to start a YouTube channel was I just basically do it for fun. I don't really have any intentional plans on finding a niche yet. I guess with me, it's kind of like if I find a niche, it'll probably just be spur of the moment type thing, I guess. Anyhow, I think that's what I just wanted to say, because my introduction video on my on my YouTube channel was kind of a little bit too long and stuff like that. So I just basically tried to condense this in a nutshell. And I guess I could ask the question of where do my ideas come from? Well, the True Son SCT series came from a combination of my love for paranormal romances and my love for marine animals. So I kind of combined those two together to create the books that you see now. So I'm not gonna go too further into detail because my first introduction letter, really. And I don't edit my video. So my introduction video, even though it's a little long, it'll explain more in detail about my writing journey. If anybody's interested in that 23 long video, I'm not gonna really delete it, but I'm just gonna put on this video that it's been revised. And hopefully this video will replace the other video on my YouTube channel. And plus I'm gonna add a few more hashtags to this video. So I'll be able to share this with more people in the writing community if they want to find me. So that's basically about it. I don't have a lot of time. I'm doing this a little bit later at night. And I'll probably schedule this for tomorrow or something. But again, hello, author community. My name is Lemony Gibson, and I'm a self-published author. And I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.